Our quote this week is, failure doesn't come from falling down. Failure comes from not getting back up. How have you seen that concept at work in your own life?
Well, in every way. Miles Davis has a really cool quote. It's not about hitting the wrong note. That doesn't matter. It's the next two notes that make a difference.
Yeah.
So it's good or bad, depending on how you react. Your reaction is everything.
I totally agree with that. I think about this all the time, both in what I do, because we're live, right?
Yeah.
So if I make a mistake and get in my head about it, I'm going to make a lot more mistakes while I'm thinking about and beating myself up for the first one.
Oh no.
Right? If I just let it go, if I just live with it and say that's part of it, I'm more likely to achieve the things I want to achieve.
I think your reaction is everything. It's like, okay, so you slept through your alarm today and missed your morning workout. Do you then have donuts for breakfast, a pizza for lunch, and say, I stink? No. You have a healthy breakfast, you walk a couple laps around during lunch, and the next day you set your alarm across the room, say, I have to get out of bed to turn it off. You learn the lesson. Okay, here's probably where I went wrong, and now let's do corrective steps. I sort of think sometimes a mistake is a gift because it helps you reassess, reevaluate, take that pause, be present, and say, here's what I really need to do.
Have you helped someone else through a failure? Kind of like what you're doing with your daughter, right? Giving her tools. Have you helped someone else face failure and use it as a tool for success rather than feeling defeated?
I've got 3 little people at home, so they make a ton of mistakes, and we're always trying to respond to those mistakes positively. We have a book, and it's called The Little Girl Who Never Made Mistakes. And anyone who has a kid out there, go get this book, The Little Girl Who Never Made Mistakes. Little Miss Perfect ultimately makes a mistake, yay, and she learns to laugh at herself. And the biggest lesson that I can teach anyone as a boss lady at work or with my kids is to laugh at your mistakes. Because if you can laugh at yourself, everyone's gonna laugh with you, and it's not that big a deal.
It's totally true.
It's not.
How has failure, can you think of a time when failure has made you stronger? When you've really taken a lesson that you learned and boom, changed how you worked?
Yeah, I completely overextended myself in my daughter's school. I volunteered for everything.
I can totally see you doing that too.
Oh yes, I'll do the bake sale and I'll do the fair and I'll do that. So I signed up to do a million things, and I was doing pretty well until box tops. And I don't know if parents know anything about counting box tops at home. Well, I volunteered to count box tops with the PTO. They dropped them off at my house, I threw them in my junk pile, and completely forgot. Missed the deadline, the PTO president's calling me, asking me for this. I had to have them dropped off at her house, and she had to count them herself. Now I could say, oh my God, I'm the worst working mom ever, I stink. Or I can say, hey, guess what? I need to stop and reevaluate. I need to say no more. I'm saying yes too often, and the lesson here is not, you're a crappy working mom, you need to say no more. And so that was my takeaway. I'm not saying yes to 25 things, I'm saying yes to 1.
We talk about a lot sort of the mental chatter that we all have, right?
Yeah.
That sort of running monologue in our head, the way that we judge ourselves, the way that we criticize ourselves. How do you handle mental chatter? How do you deal with that in your life? Do you have that?
I do. I mean, and I that's why I'm so big on my mantra shirts. I wear the good vibes, and I surround myself by good energy. I have a workout group I call the Good Vibe Tribe, and every morning at 5:30, we're there for each other with positive energy, positive reinforcement, because if you surround yourself with good, you feel good.
Yeah.
And that's really what it is having the message on your shirt so I can look down and say, you know what, everything is hard before it's easy. Here comes the easy, here comes the easy, here comes the easy, right? It's just that reinforcement, like you fake it till you make it. If you need to wear the shirt till you feel better, wear the shirt. Have the bumper sticker, put it on your screensaver. Have the good vibes front and center.
I think, you know what, I think there's a really interesting conversation to be had around that. Sometimes the feeling leads. You feel amazing, so you act amazing. But sometimes you just have to act amazing. Sometimes the action and the habit has to lead, even when you don't feel it, and hope that the action leads you to that thing. Sometimes it's got to be that way.
This is so cool. We just reported on a new study in Good Housekeeping that people who take selfies are happier because you're smiling. And that act of smiling makes you feel happier. So instead of taking a picture of a piece of fruit or a sunset, sometimes taking that picture of yourself smiling is actually going to retrain your brain to feel the happy thing.